Hi. Am I live? I believe I am. Hi, and welcome to the stream. It's a late night, meaning I'm going to do my best to stay kind of chill and quiet here. I'm going to be doing custom some custom Marvel champions. Um, I'm looking at a bunch of different characters because I know I want to play um oops. Um, I guess I wanted to do this last time I streamed, but I neglected to because I'm very silly. And that is, I wanted to show off. Also, I believe these got messed up somehow. Um, yeah. So let me fix that. Is it just this one? Yeah. Okay, so let me fix that, and then I'm going to go through all of the cards here. It's number 7. Um, so yeah, this is a character that I created, or I didn't create Nova. This is a custom hero for Marvel Champions that I've created. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna try really hard not to just explain how the game works because I'm assuming that there's a level of knowledge here. Oh, I noticed on my stream last time that my cursor doesn't show up, so I'm wondering if I can. Because I tried to use my cursor to point out things. Well, I guess there's nothing I can really do about that. I'll just try to keep it in mind. So anyway, Richard Ryder here, aka Nova. One moment. Sorry. He is a Nova Corps member, of course. And I built him around this whole Cancerverse thing because in the comics he went in, trapped Thanos or whatever in a alternate reality where nothing ever dies, called the Cancerverse, and he got trapped there and lived for a long time, obviously. Getting killed over and over again by monstrosities, and then yeah, so I tried to capture that in flavor wise through a recursion theme. His ability that's printed on his alter ego form, it doesn't really facilitate that necessarily. As in, it's a nice option to have if you're worried about decking out. It can be a nice thing to shuffle 2 cards at random from your discard pile into your deck. That can be very helpful, but it's not something that you necessarily want to do. It doesn't. It doesn't necessarily fit with the rest of the deck, but it's a nice ability to have. Then we have this Nova Prime on the other side. He's a 2 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense. The hand size of 5. Is he's got the aerial and guardian trait, aerial baked in, which is you know, I think aerial's kind of a badly designed keyword from what I can from the cards that exist right now, I can't really tell like what it's trying to do. So, but his whole thing is he flies around, so can't not give it to him. Anyway, his ability, after you play an event from your discard pile, that's what he's all about. Reduce the cost of the next event you play this phase by 1. So he cares about playing stuff from his discard pile. Let's see. I want to... Well, whatever. I'll just... Okay. Cool. I just hit shuffle and it just happened to pull it to the top. So this is his main card. His helmet here. It says... it's a 2-cost armor in Nova Corps. You get +3 hit points. And as an action, you can take 2 damage and play 1 card from your discard pile, paying its cost. So this facilitates most of his cards. Oh wow. It facilitates almost all of his cards except for these 3 right here, which are his upgrade or events that are essentially upgrades, because as long as you control a support with the World Mind trait, you can play these from your trash, from your discard pile. And the whole point of these is that on your next, the next time you would use these, they give you +1 for that activation, and you get to ready up, which is nice. So there's 3 of the, or 1 of each of these. So you want them, you kind of want them in your bin more than you want. That's the thing about Nova, is that he really changes how you think about, like, oh, do I want to have this in my hand, or do I want this in my discard pile? You probably want your stuff in your discard pile. So next up, we've got Nova Corps here. 2 copies. It is a functionally the same as TAC Team, except it is a World Mind support. So it makes these work. And it says, after you play a card from your discard pile, and this is forced, exhaust Nova Corps and remove a core counter from it, comes with 3, to deal 3 damage to an enemy and discard the top card of your deck. So it kind of speeds you up. I think the speeding up thing is fine, as far as I think it can be a little too easy to stall out, I guess. Because technically you don't need to play any of the cards in your hand, and you can just keep them in your hand. So if you're just using stuff that's in your trash, and that's an interesting thing I actually haven't even thought of before. And I wonder if maybe I could try to build a deck that would care about that kind of thing, where once I get the stuff in my trash, I can just play it over and over and over again without ever having to worry about it. But yeah, so there's the Nova Corps. They're forced, and they mill you 1, to use a Magic the Gathering term. Then there's the World Mind, which this is a pretty new addition here. It says action. You can exhaust it, choose a card, and choose and discard 1 card from your hand to draw a card. And it also says when your deck runs out of cards, you discard it. This is forced to heal 4 damage from your identity and give him a tough status. So it gives you a nice little, like, candy sweet treat after your deck runs out. Then we've got 3 copies of Gravimetric Pulse, which is his main attack card. It might be overtuned. Last stream, I managed to beat Crossbones. I don't think I was playing. No, I was playing on expert Crossbones. With basically in 1 turn, because I had all 3 of these in my discard pile. So they cost 1 less for each one in your discard pile, and they deal 5 damage and discard the top card of your deck. So with all 3 of these in your trash, you can play them for free using the helmet. The helmet, it drains you for 2, but in the decks that you're going to want to play with him, you're basically trying to get your health as high as possible anyway. Or at least that's how I've been building him. I want endurance, I want the helmet as soon as possible, and I want to be playing stuff for my garbage. It makes him really remarkably consistent, but also, kind of grabbing that same risk versus reward thing that the Star-Lord card has. Star-Lord hero, rather. Then we've got 2 copies of ASTRAL Rescue, which is his main thwart dealie. It says remove a total of 3 threat from among schemes in play, so you can kind of split it up if you want. Choose a player. That player shuffles an ally from their discard pile into their deck. This is something that is not very good for him. It's okay. It's an option. But it's pretty good so if you're playing with a leadership Star-Lord or so on and so forth, it's nice to just, hey, let me, grab them for you from your trash. We got Nova Force. It's a resource. 2 energy. After you spend it, heal 3 damage if you're exhausted. So, again, wanting you to constantly be using Nova Force and, or Nova to, you want to think of a good reason to use him, and then you can use Nova Force to pay for something like the helmet or Astral Rescue or so on and so forth. It's a nice little perk because healing is something that he really needs. He only has 3 recovery, which isn't super great, but yeah. And then his signature ally here is Darkhawk, who I think in the next update will have the warrior trait as well as cop. He's a 3-cost ally with 1 thwart, 2 attack, 1 consequential each, 3 HP, and he says after you play him from your discard pile, defeat a minion. So you need the helmet to play him, but he instantly. You need the you need the helmet to play him. You need 3 effective resources, and you need 2 health to play him. But he will instantly kill anything, which is also kind of reference to the Star-Lord, or the Nova Prime signature ally that's in the Star-Lord hero pack, which kills any non-elite minion for 5, which I think is too much. This obligation here is Cancer vs. Scars, which might be a little overtuned. Honestly, I'm not married to anything in this pack. They're just kind of things I thought of, as I grabbed the art and stuff. So yeah, we've got Cancer vs. Scars. It says you may flip to alter ego form. Choose. You can exhaust to remove it from the game, or discard a card from your hand. Shuffle your discard pile into your deck and discard this obligation. Obviously, that is an extremely brutal punishment. If you are, if you had to go with that one. His nemesis here is Cancer vs. Thanos, which is a pretty buck wild, nemesis to have. He's got 1 scheme, 3 attack, 5 HP, stalwart, and toughness. I gave him 5 HP because that's how much gravimetric pulse does, and I like it when the main attack dealie that your hero has can wipe out the nemesis immediately. That feels really nice, I think. Especially in Spider-Woman or something. But he does have toughness, so you do have to ping him first. He has a forced interrupt. When he would be defeated, discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. Discard X cards from the top of your deck. X is 1 more than the number of boost icons on the discarded encounter cards. Yeah, and I think that's fine. It's, it's a thing, but it's not necessarily whoa, super in flavor or anything. I wanted the other than this card, the other three Nemesis cards have fairly low boost icons, to make up for their ability. Anyway, this is oops, metastatic growth. It says when revealed, each player discards the upgrade or support they control at the highest cost, and it's got crisis. So you do have to take care of this, but you can ignore Thanos, and that's how I have dealt with him whenever he's shown up, which actually tends to be a lot. I've noticed, and in my playtesting, he typically will show up right as you're about to beat the villain. That's just how it's been. And yeah, when you have Rhino on the ropes, and then here's Cancer versus Thanos, that's a bad feeling. He's got 3 copies of Symptoms, which says it's 1 boost icon, but it says when revealed, you are stunned and confused. Place 1 threat on the main scheme. Brutal, very brutal. You can get around it, but you have to use your, your ready events. So yeah, those are those cards. I'm going to go ahead and make a deck and play a solo game, I guess. So let me, can I upload this? Oh, you know what? Hang on. Okay. Yeah, I'll do this again. I swear I just did this, but I'll redo it. Unless... Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. So, give me one moment and I'll upload the others. The other cards for his hero pack, which are gonna be pretty cool. One of these is it's gonna be what do they call it? Placeholder art, because I'm waiting on my boyfriend to do art for me that'll replace it. So don't worry about that one. In fact, don't look. Oh, let me grab this one as well. Um, doo -doo -doo. One moment. Got some more. Okay. So yeah, these will be the cards for the quote-unquote hero pack. So if Fantasy Flight Games was publishing this, these are the cards that would come in the box to make nice and so forth with the other, deck building options. Oof. I will make this statement. I am getting extremely tired, so I don't know how long I'll do this for, but I'm gonna try to push through because I do gotta start staying up. Okay. So I might just no, let's just do this. I'm just gonna talk about these cards and the design process, and I'll probably like upload it to YouTube or something like that. Okay, so let me just grab all these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's right. Okay, so the rest of the cards. You know, don't look, don't read. Don't even look at them. Okay, so the first Justice ally I'm introducing, and this is the one I'm waiting on art for, is Hindsight Lad here. Carton Lafroige, I don't know. He's a new warrior. He's a 3-cost ally with 2 thwart for 2 consequential, 1 attack for 1, and 2 HP. So not super great at existing. But that's not really the point. The point is, after a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, you can discard him to put that card back in the encounter deck, 1 per player from the top. So the idea is that if it's your turn, you can, and you get a treachery that you're like, oh, I can handle that. You can ensure, or try to ensure that that treachery card is going to be the thing that you get next turn as well. With Nova, you could theoretically keep yourself in a loop using Hindsight Lad. It's going to cost you 3 effective resources and 2 HP every time you want to do it. But actually, it wouldn't. That would only work in true solo, or in solo, because 1 per player from the top. That would mean that you're theoretically passing it to your next person. But yeah, I'm really, I like the design of this card a lot, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. Next up is Night Thrasher. He's also a warrior. I'm not a fan of flavor text in this game, for the most part, because they tend not to do it in a way that's engaging to me. I like what I wrote here on Metastatic Growth, which says, even now, life goes ever on. You know, the concept, yeah. It's just like, sometimes you can write a cool thing, like how Magic the Gathering does it. But a lot of times in this game, it's just like, you know, I didn't want to have a Nova card that says Blue Blazes on it, basically, even though that's its catchphrase. But it is noticeable. Big empty spot on this card. Night Thrasher here, Dwayne Taylor, is a 2-cost ally with 1 thwart on attack, 1 consequential perk, and 2 HP, and he says, as a forced response, after you play him, change your form. This is really good for Nova. The theme of all of these cards that I've introduced for these aspect cards that I'm introducing is one of kind of avoidance, because I wanted to introduce kind of a different aspect to the way that the game works, if that makes sense. Or I wanted to put in a new archetype, and I think that doing things that help you avoid threat in a meaningful way, rather than maybe necessarily dealing with it, which is what Justice tends to do, was the goal here. So I think Night Thrasher, you can play him and you will flip form, and then theoretically you could go back, or, you know, however you want to play it. He's not a super strong ally, but he does let you flip. And it's in flavor because he has a skateboard, as some may know. And he flips on that skateboard. Here we got Lose Them. It's a 2-cost aerial tactic event. Play only if your identity has the aerial trait. Max 1 per phase, so you can't abuse this. It says, hero action, shuffle a minion engaged with you into the encounter deck. Another thought I had was that you would flip your form, but I think that might be too much, because this card's already, like, pretty good. Gives you a nice piece of minion removal that isn't necessarily killing them, but it's kind of putting the encounter deck back together. Which is nice. I don't think that there's a card really like that. Then we've got Survey, another piece of Silver Surfer art with a censored butt. Let's see. And it says it's a 1-cost aerial tactic event, just like the other one. Play only if you have aerial. Hero action: search the top 10 cards of the encounter deck for a side scheme, and discard that card. Shuffle the encounter deck. Draw 1 card. This is, I feel like it's pretty obvious. It's very cheap. I think it might be pretty weak. I think it's fine to be pretty weak. It definitely offers something that isn't really found except for cards like maybe Angela, but Angela, obviously has its downsides, or sometimes maybe positives, but yeah, basically I wanted to offer, if you're playing against Red Skull and you're like, okay, actually, I guess you couldn't use it against Red Skull. If you're playing against Kang, maybe someone with a really scary side scheme, and you just don't want to deal with it, you can just use this card, pitch it whenever you get it, and you get to draw a card, so the effective cost is 0. But whatever. Daring Dive is next. It's an aerial thwart event for 0. Only play if you have aerial. You can discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a thwart event. You can play it without paying its resource cost. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. So, obviously, the flavor here, I think I'm pretty proud of. If you've seen Iron Man 3, there's that scene where he's diving to catch all of the politicians or whatever out of that plane. So that's kind of the idea here. Is that, you're diving, you're going faster and faster. Who knows how much of your deck you're going to tear through, but you're going for a thwart event, which there are not that many of in the game. So you definitely want to, know what you're getting into when you build your deck. But you get to play it for free. So think about that. And it's got a little bonus. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. I'm pretty proud of that card. A team up card for the this one was suggested by Veryl. Maybe Viral. I'm actually not sure. I've never said it out loud. Veryl, I'm gonna go with. On the custom Marvel Champions LCG homebrew channel on Discord server, whatever. Was suggested by Veryl, who I tested 1 or 2 games with. He was playing Design Hacker's incredible Darkhawk character hero pack, and Darkhawk has Nova as the signature ally as well. So we thought, oh yeah, let's do it. Let's see, and I think this card was entirely Veryl's idea, not mine. But regardless, I think it turned out really well, and it's very, very nice in both decks. It's a 3-cost event, team up. So you need to control Darkhawk and Nova Prime. I think in Nova's deck, this is a must-have. It is pretty incredible. Even if you're not using it, you can just pitch it, and then when you get Darkhawk out, or if you're like, okay, now I can play Darkhawk, it's going to feel really, really, really nice. So it says, as an action, you can play 1 card from your discard pile that shares a trait with your identity, ignoring its resource cost. Ready and upgrade you or support you control. This allows you, or the Darkhawk player whose character hero pack is not about, not at all about recurring stuff from your trash. It lets you play something, ignoring its resource cost, which by itself is already really strong. and you get the ready and upgrade or support you control. In the case of Nova Core, that's fantastic. In the case of other stuff, I'm sure there's other uses for it as well. But yeah, it's that's the team up card. Pretty cool. There is an art glitch which was caused by this art that they use for the solicitation of this comic cover that I grabbed the art from. On the actual book, the hand of Nova there, if you can see that, the hand of Nova is actually cut off by the edge of the book. And yeah. So nothing I could really do about that. I didn't feel like drawing it, so that's just how it's going to be for now. And then the cards that aren't in his in the Justice pre-con that I have yet to actually go and build, but it would include all of those cards. We've got the protection card, Flashy Avoidance. It says until end of phase. Oh, it's a 1-cost skill event. Until end of phase, characters you control ignore the guard keyword, the retaliate keyword, and the patrol keyword. Deal 1 damage to an enemy and remove 1 threat from a scheme. So this is kind of ripping off of I think it's called like Evasive Maneuvers or something. It's a Nebula card, and it has this exact line of text. Or something. Maybe it's just Nebula, but she avoids guard, which doesn't let you attack the main villain. Retaliate, which means that they can't, hit you back when you hit them. And patrol, which means that you can't thwart the main scheme. While that minion is active. And it lets you do a little pew pew on top of it, which is okay. I think it's a pretty cool card. This one, not super into. Man, I don't remember it being this bright when I made it. This is a 1-cost Mighty Swing. It's a preparation skill upgrade. Oh boy. You can play it under any player's control, and after your hero attacks an enemy as a response, you can discard it to deal 3 damage to that enemy. The implication being, they're like really, rearing back the attack in order to make it hit harder, I guess. I originally had this card be called Mighty Aura, and I used a card art that someone pointed out to me that it was in the Star-Lord pack, so I had to change it. And I'm still not into the design, but it's okay. Making it a preparation was someone else's idea, because Black Widow kind of lacks in a, obviously she cares about preparation cards, but she kind of lacks any real like aggressive stuff, damage dealing stuff, that isn't specific to like, oh, now you can hit a minion, whatever. The leadership card is not my forte. It's a 2-cost event, tactic event. It says hero action until end of phase, characters you control don't take consequential damage while using the lower of their attack or thwart. So kind of I thought that would be a cool card to maybe, because sometimes you're in a situation where it's like, okay, I need something to happen here, but I don't want my allies to die in the heat of battle. So you can let them do their thing, maybe the thing that they're a little bit worse at. And the reason I say a little bit is because apparently someone pointed out, like as soon as I made this card, I think it might have been Varel, pointed out that the lower of 2 and 2, so if the ally has 2 attack and 2 thwart, the lower of 2 and 2 is 2. So basically, if it's a 2/2, they're not taking any consequential damage for this activation, which is fine. Finally, there's Hercules here, which he looks like he has like kind of a weird kerning thing. I'm not sure, or not kerning. The right the right side of his text box doesn't really work out, but you know, here's this glorious hunk, Hercules. He's a 4 cost, 1 thwart, 1 consequential, 2 attack, 1 consequential, 4 HP. Guardian, Olympus. Uh-oh, I messed up, and there's no period after the word Olympus. Please forgive me. He says, play only if your identity has a guardian trait. That can probably go away, because he's not, I don't know. I just copied it from the Rocket and the Groot and the Drax and Gamora allies that exist, but I'm not sure I need to have it because I thought it was for all of the Guardian allies, all the basic Guardians, but no, it's not on like Cosmo. It's not on a few other ones, so whatever, it can go. Anyway, he's got toughness, and after you play him, heal 1 damage from all friendly characters, which is pretty nothing. But I wanted to grab like kind of like a, wow, this is the light of my life, Hercules here. I kind of wanted to grab something that was like a, you know, he hits the board and it's a big morale booster. Someone should really make a cool Hercules character though, because Hercules is cool. Even though, I will say this, and then I'm going to take a big drink of my Mountain Dew apple. There need to be less Marvel characters with this color, this hair scheme. There's like 8 different Marvel characters who all have the stupid like white in like perfect little streaks on the side of their head. It's ridiculous and it has to stop. That's just my take though. Hercules typically sticks to being you know, he doesn't try to hang around Tony Stark, or sorry, not Tony Stark, Reed Richards or Doctor Strange very much. But the fact that I'm sure that there's a ton that I'm forgetting. I guarantee there's like 8 X-Men who also have this. Something's got to change. 1 second. But yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's gonna be the stream. Just showing off the custom Nova character that I've made, and I guess I might as well hold on 1 second. Let me just. Yeah. All right, there we go. Okay, beautiful. Now, hold on. Maybe I'll cut this out of the YouTube video. Maybe I won't. I probably won't. Okay, let me upload that, and then yeah. Oh, and then I'll show you the other cards that I've been working on in miscellaneous ways. Just for the hell of it. Let's do that many. Sure. Okay. So un momento, vale. Kind of grab these. And I'm not going to worry at all about the back of the card. Oh. Except I have to, apparently. So we're just going to use this. So I've been working on other stuff kind of in the background, or well, like I'm trying to find my way. You know, I'm not sure what the next what's the next big project for me. I'm not sure. But I've been trying a few things because I think Nova is more or less finished. You know, it's just going to be about I think my change list is I gotta put the warrior trait on Darkhawk, and I gotta get the new art for Hindsight Lad, and I gotta put a period after the word Olympus, and that's all I can really think of. But I have still been working on other things, mostly just like kind of shooting ideas around with other custom creator types in the server, the homebrew server. Oh no, that's fine. So let me just grab those and trying to do this as quickly as possible so I can talk about them. But yeah, if oh no, I uploaded the wrong one. Oh no. I'm gonna say forget it, forget about it, and I'll just make the correction when I read it out loud, because it is a stupid little error on my part. I'm not really sure why it even happened that way. Why did I write that like that? Okay, and then the final one. Alright, so the first concept, and the one that I think is going to be my next big one, is, ignore that, going to be Herald of Galactus Thor, Herald of Thunder Thor. The Thor 2020 comic is very, very good, and I really liked the idea of a Thor who is having a hard time wielding Mjolnir, and I don't remember if I said A or one, but the next one, B2. I wanted to make a Thor that was dealing with specifically being under Galactus's control, which is written here on this card, which I need to edit. But the idea is, it says, force response after the player phase begins. If you are first player, deal yourself an imperative card from Galactus's imperative deck and reveal it. So, the concept behind this character is going to be Thor is going to be extremely strong to the like he will be unquestionably the most powerful like on average cards of any hero in the game probably. However, Galactus will at the beginning of every turn that you're first player, he's going to provide you with an imperative. Something like kill 2 minions, etc. If you do that, that's great. You got to do something that you wanted to do. If you decide, maybe that's not the best choice of action, there's this scheme that's about to pop, or something, Galactus will punish you heavily for disobeying his orders. I haven't designed any of those cards, but I think I said something along the lines of like, yeah, so he wants you to kill 2 minions. If there's not any minions, that's tough shit. He wanted you to kill 2 minions. So, yeah, that's the concept behind that character. I got the Galactus-y colors on this card, which I'm pretty happy with. And then we've got the Thor, Herald of Thunder Thor colors on this one, which I'm also like really into. I think it's gorgeous. Obviously this Thor is really strong. 1, 3, and 2. And he has 16 HP and a hand size of 5, which is already immediately better than the Thor hero that Fantasy Flight Games has published. He says, after you reveal an imperative, discard 1 card from your hand, heal 3 damage from Thor. Which again, all three of these are just like kind of placeholder things. Like, well, I get the ideas out there and then I'll refine them. I think I still have some of my earlier Nova cards, which are just like not, obviously that shaped out the way it did, and I think it turned out pretty okay. But it's got a lot of different ways it could go. The concept is he's really strong, but if you disobey Galactus, who I'm thinking might be your nemesis, but he starts out just like he's your nemesis and he starts the game, he's just out and watching and doing things. Like maybe he powers up and once you complete enough imperatives, like he joins you as an ally. I don't know. There's options here. Here's here's Mjolnir. +2 attack, and his attacks gain ranged, as opposed to the original Mjolnir, which gives you +1 attack, and I think, and you gain aerial. And yeah, I just think, especially this card, I think looks really good. The art in this comic is fantastic. Next up, we've got Bladebot EU. Made this very, very cool Cloud Strife card or hero pack that looks really great. It's more based on his Smash Brothers appearance, I guess, than the appearance that he has in Final Fantasy VII or, so on and so forth. But I thought it was really, really cool, and I wanted to try something, in the same vein. So I wanted to make Barrett. And the idea I had was he dishes out, this is based on his appearance in Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is an incredible game. Obviously, the original Final Fantasy VII is also amazing, but the remake is definitely what I have more experience with. Let's see. He just deals passive damage constantly, which is perfect for him. He's going to focus mostly on threat removal and thwarting, compared to anything else, but he can kind of do it all. Which I think is, it totally fits the character. He's got high HP, relatively. He's got decent stats, but after you play a attack, thwart, or defense event, you can deal 1 damage to an enemy, and it gains shallow, which is a new keyword that I had to make up. It is essentially piercing, yeah, it's essentially piercing, except it doesn't pop tough. So if the enemy that you're attacking has the tough status card, this will still deal damage to that enemy, but it doesn't get rid of tough. Which, again, if you played the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Barrett is just constantly like, but like dealing very little damage, but it is constant damage that adds up over time, of course. So I'm really happy with this design. The other thing that I was super into, why did it get like that? Hello? Oh, I'm like that. Okay. The other thing I was into was the Cloud card has a cool setup card, setup permanent. I think describing his limit break mechanic, and I thought, oh, what if they all had like their own kind of mechanic like that? So I wanted Barrett to have an active reload mechanic, which he has in the remake. The concept behind an active reload, I think, definitely popularized by Gears of War, where you're shooting, you need to reload, you tap the reload button again with good timing, and you get the reload quicker than you normally would. And the concept here is on the active reload card was that you would be able to lower your hand size in order to ensure that your this Gatling arm response deals more damage, which I think is a really cool way of doing that. Not to toot my own horn, but also The colors on this look really good. Unfortunately, the issue I ran into, not a lot of art of Barrett. Not a lot of art of any of the things he does either, because it's easy to draw Cloud's attacks because he's got like a trillion attacks and he does cool things throughout the story and all of that. Barrett basically just shoots stuff from his arm, as you see here. So basically, I knew from the beginning like Barrett's not going to have enough art. Um, so I was thinking, what could I do to who could I make this idea into? Someone pointed out War Machine Punisher. That's an idea. Next up, and the final one is I just pumped all of these out tonight. He Bladebot EU created another blonde sword boy in that of Link, who is also an extremely cool and well designed hero in this. And I wanted to something about this game just really gets my creative juices brings them to a live boil. And what I can do is whatever. I'm very tired. So I was like, okay, you made Link from The Legend of Zelda. I want to make a Mario. And I'm just thinking of like a Super Smash Brothers version of this game. So Mario here, his concept is that he will have a setup card, because I think Link also has a setup card, but it's a card that's always out, and it will say it'll be called like Flagpole or something like that. And the idea is that you want to run through your deck as fast as you possibly can, and when you do, you will get big bonuses. So it cares about running your deck out of cards as fast as you possibly can, which is kind of a reference to the design I had for the this card, the World Mind, where it says when your deck runs out of cards, discard it, heal 4 damage, and give you your hero a tough. So all of his cards are going to care about getting through that deck ASAP, and just kind of living in that world of a speedrunner, Super Mario Maker Grand Pooh Bear. I don't know. So Mario here, 4 recovery, 10 HP, hand size of 6. This is his alter ego. I haven't made the hero form yet, but his alter ego says high score. It's a forced interrupt. When your deck runs out of cards, you get +1 hand size until the end of the round. So you're going to be drawing 7 cards instead of your regular 6. Kind of wanted to grab the, you kind of get in the zone after you do really a Mario level really quickly, and I kind of wanted to grab that. Making, running through his deck feel like a level is kind of the goal here. We've got kind of a rarity for, this game. Typically, a hero deck only comes with 1 ally, 1 signature ally, but I wanted to have a 4-player Mario game. You can't just have 3 players in Mario. It's weird. It's either going to be 1 or 4. Or, I don't know, I guess it could be 2. So yeah, I wanted to have Luigi, Princess Peach, and the Toad, as that one video says. So they all do similar things. Luigi here, he can thwart for free, but he's pretty weak. When your deck runs out of cards, remove a total of 5 threat from among schemes in play, not in control, not schemes that you control. Yeah. Princess Peach is big and tough and more expensive. She costs 4, 5 HP, 2 thwart for 2 consequential, 2 attack for 2 consequential. Really exorbitant numbers. But when your deck runs out of cards, she heals 1, and she gives Mario a tough status, which is very nice of her. So she's kind of meant to be like the tankier one. And Toad here is uber fast. I think this card might have a few too many jokes on it. But whatever. He's a 2-cost ally with 1 HP. 1 thwart and 2 attack, uh, each for a consequential. And he has the soldier trait, which I don't think the game has done anything with, but whatever. And it says when your deck runs out, deal 2 damage to an enemy. Pretty minor, but he's cheap. Isn't that nice? You just want to play cheap. If you know what this art is from, you win a money. I'm not sure who from. I'm also I need to figure out how to add art credits. I have all of these artists saved. Well, this is official art. This is a very faithful recreation of official art. But this one and this one are both fan art. And that I will credit. After I figure out how to do that. And then he's gonna have a few copies of this card, Jump, here. Which should say deal 4 damage to a minion, not an enemy. But yeah, the concept is deal 4 damage to an enemy if they're not defeated. If you stomp them, but they're not dead yet, shuffle them into the encounter deck and deal yourself a face down encounter card, and you get to draw a card. So you move a little further in the level by jumping on them. And I think that's well conveyed through the card. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of my little, like, I'm tired, it's nighttime project here, was this Mario one. But I think it's got legs. I think it's got a yeah, it's got legs. I want to look more at I think it's Design Hacker, but I could be wrong. It might be Nugget or Odysseus or one of those incredible creators for this game have a ghostwriter. You know, the oh, what's his name? Is it Robbie Reyes? With a cool car. But their Robbie Reyes has a cool they have a racetrack, and that's awesome. They're literally, they designed a racetrack for their character, so that kind of rewards you in the same way. So isn't Design Hacker? Doesn't look like it. No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, I'm not sure who it is. Off the top of my head, I guess I can keep looking, but yeah, getting a racetrack onto the field and everything is like pretty crazy. And you know, like, as you move throughout, every square that you land on has new, you know, little bonuses and treats for you, which is a really cool way to play this game. I love this game. I love the way it makes you think. I love the way that the designs of the characters work. Oh, by the way, Mario's nemesis is not going to be Bowser. It's going to be Wario, I think. So I'll try to think of something where he wants to do the opposite of what Mario does in, like, every way. But yeah, I got to keep thinking about it. But yeah, so that's my stream. Hopefully I think I might try to do it again tomorrow. But yeah, that's that. I'll talk to you when I talk to you, I guess. Goodbye.